Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Brutus, and in today's video I'll be talking about wrecks in Stranded Deep, which one is the best and which one is the worst, how you can get them and the way to explore them. In this video I'll be using the map, the Create New Island, just to give you guys the basic idea on how the wrecks looks like and the basics of the wreck, how deep it does spawn, or things like that. So the type of wrecks you can get, it's because in the cartographer I can actually show you guys the wrecks, because not all islands have all the wrecks. And I'll also tell you, as I said, the best wreck and the worst wreck. But first let's get started on the rowboat wreck. So if I spawn this in, as you can see, it does spawn on different places. Some of them do spawn in the water and some of them do spawn out of the water. If you can see there on the right side in the screen there, so they do spawn, but they don't spawn too deep in the water. Okay, that's the spawns for these things, and then this is how they look like. It's just basically a broken apart boat, and you can actually find them on most of your islands. They are a common spawn, and they also have a, as you can see there on the boat there, it looks like a little seat. Most of the times there will be one of those containers, but only one container. Sometimes they do not spawn a container at all, and that is a downside for the first wreck. That's the rowboat wreck. So they are common and spawn onshore 90% of the times. Okay, so let's go on to the ship's stern. Okay, so let me just spawn this thing in. Say maybe I can get a better spawn for it. I want one on the coast. This, as you can see, they do spawn deep in the water sometimes. As you can see there, it's not even on the island itself, it's in the water, so they can spawn deeper into the water. This, I would say, is the second worst wreck, or maybe the third. So this is one of the third worst wrecks to spawn in your island, and this is how it looks like. It's just a basic part of the boat, and they, as I said, are also about common spawns. You can find them on basically any island or most of the islands. And inside, as you can see through this hole in that front part there, through the hole in front of the pole there, you can actually find one box. Every time I came across one of these wrecks, I did find a box in there. So they only spawn one container at a time. Okay, so that's it for the ship's stern. Then it is let's take the wreck's bottom. There we go. So this, they will also spawn deep in the water. As you could have seen there was one underneath the water. There it's again at the bottom of the screen, underneath the water. There's on top of the water. So I'm just going to get a good spawn for this. That would be about right. And this is how it looks. It's just a basic, like a steel skeleton of a boat, just a part of it. This, I have not seen any of them spawn boxes before or containers. So this is kind of useless wrecks. I think this might be the worst wreck to find in the game. But it can also spawn a container. I don't know if it does, but there's a possibility. And I haven't seen many of them on the islands I've explored before. Okay, so let's move on to the next wreck. Let's just go to the smaller wrecks, the fishing boats. So the fishing boat can be a pain in the butt if you find one of them. So let me just, as you can see, you can spawn underneath the water, and sometimes they can spawn like this on top of the water. And the only way to get into this is if you let's grab onto these yellow things on the side of it, you can actually get into the boat, or you have to park a raft next to it and get in that way. That is safer when it's deeper into the water where sharks may be. Okay, so this wreck, sometimes it spawns 2 boxes, but most of the time it only spawns 1 box on top here, on top of the roof. As you can see, there is the ledge climbing indicators, I guess we can call it, to get on top of the roof. And this boat, it has a console, small locker, and a large locker that you can actually find multiple items in. And that's it for this boat. It's also it spawns, but it depends on the island. So sometimes it can spawn a lot, but only one of them will spawn on island. It's the same for all the wrecks. Only one of the wreck will spawn at a time. Okay, so this is the towboat wreck. As you can see, it does spawn underneath the water most of the times. I don't know if I can get a spawn on top of the water here. So this looks like it's basically an underwater wreck. You can see it's an underwater wreck. So this is how it looks like. It spawns underneath the water. You can actually, I think you can go into it. As you can see, there's a hole that you can go through. And this, I think, sometimes it spawns 2 boxes. Most of the time only 1, because it's a small wreck. It has a console inside, if I'm not mistaken. In the front where the steering are, there's a console. But these boats are good for flotation devices. The buoy balls, the tires, and the barrels. You can find them on these boats all the time. 90% of the time you will find one of those 3 flotation devices on that wreck. And as you guys can see, they do not spawn on the shore. They do spawn a little bit deeper into the ocean. Okay, so let's move on to the next wreck. Let's go up to the double deck wreck. Okay, so as you can see, this one spawns underneath the water, and sometimes it spawns out of the water. So I'm going to keep it like this so I can show you how it looks like. This is actually a good boat, because you can find multiple lockers and consoles inside of it, and also you can find buoy balls in front of it, on the front of the nose, and I'm pretty sure you can go inside. Or no, you can't get into this boat at all, like into the hull of the boat. You can only get on top of it, so you have to swim through one of this, or if this is underneath the water, you can just climb over this ledge on the side of the boat. This do spawn buoy balls or flotation devices, if I'm not mistaken. I have found tires on this boat, but they do spawn about, I guess you can say, 3 boxes at max. They do spawn, so they are very good wrecks to explore, and I will explore the wrecks in the future one by one for you guys, but for now I'm just covering the wrecks and telling you guys what it's about. Okay, so this is the ship's bow, the next one. See if I can get a good spawn. So this looks like it's an underwater, or 50% underwater wreck as well. It doesn't spawn on shore, it just spawns a bit out to sea, as you can see. Yeah, and this one you can actually get inside of. It spawns a box up top here most of the times, flotation devices, and inside down there you might find another box or 2. You can get through the back here as well into the base of the boat, and if you go down here you will find tires, but it's not usable. If you go into it, there's more tires. I think there's 2 consoles and 1 locker inside of this boat, but that is the basics for this boat. You can find, and let's say, a maximum of 2 containers on this shipwreck, so it's kind of useless to have in the island, and it doesn't have a good purpose. Okay, so that's the first few covered. Let's go to the Yacht Wreck. So the Yacht Wreck is an underwater spawn. You barely get this out of the water. As you can see, left bottom corner, there's 1 out of the water. Let's see if I can get, oh, not out of the water, but just underneath the water. See if I can get one to spawn a bit up from the surface. That's about the best one I can get. So this is not good spawns. They do give you, let's say, 2 containers at max. They do not, I haven't seen any of them spawn buoy balls, so I can't show you exactly what it looks like now. Let's see if I can go back here a bit, see if I can just get a bit of view of it. But anyways, this is not a good wreck, and if I can remember, inside of this there's only 2 small lockers, so that's pretty useless for a wreck. If you find this on your island, you can explore it, but there's not much to explore, and it's pretty useless. Okay, so let's move on to the next wreck. This is where the wrecks do get a lot better, and I will tell you guys which one is the best. This is the Polynesia wreck. See if I can get a good spawn for this. It's basically a sailboat, and this one is easy to spot. I will show you guys why. Let me just get a good spawn. This is also deep ocean wreck only, but as you can see, it gives you this big pull out of the water, and it's a tricky wreck. You can see there's basics of it, but you can go into here in the front, and you can also get in here into the back. Sometimes it does spawn flotation devices on top of it, so you just need to cut the ropes off the flotation devices and it will float to surface. But this one spawns about, you can also say 3-4 boxes depending on the generation or the generation of the world. It might spawn 3 to 4 boxes inside of this wreck. You won't find any on top of them, you will find inside of it. But just check out, there might be snakes and those lionfish hiding inside of it just to poison you and be a pain on the butt. Okay, but that's a okay wreck, I guess. It's one of the best wrecks. Good for boxes and I guess flotation devices. So there is 2 wrecks left. Let's go to the most rarest wreck in the ocean of Stranded Deep. This is the plane wreck. I'll try to show you guys what it looks like. As far as I can see, I don't even see where it spawned. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. So if I go down here, it's basically the plane that just crashed. I haven't explored one of this, but I'm thinking that it's pretty useless, as it's small and might not even spawn any boxes. Flotation devices you will not find on this because it's not a boat. And then the boxes, I don't know if you can find any boxes in it. I don't think so. I'll go and explore and tell you guys as soon as I find it and see the wreck myself, or I'll just do another video covering the wrecks in the game. I might cover them separate, or maybe just the good, middle and bad wreck, or the good, middle and bad wrecks in separate videos. But this is a very rare ship or plane wreck. I haven't seen one of them in my experience unless I've placed it into the world, but otherwise I haven't seen it spawn at all. Okay, so that is the second final wreck. Now let's get to the cargo ship. See if I can, oh, this is a good spawn. It does spawn out of water. Sometimes you can get close to the surface or to your shore, but the other times it can be really hard to get to it because it can spawn deeper into water. But this is one massive boat. This is a boat that you do want on your island because it gives you buoy balls or flotation devices on this deck and on this deck most of the times. Sometimes you can find them on top of here, but I haven't found any of it up top here. In front here you can also find flotation devices, boxes. If you just check here on this side, or let's go to this little tunnel here in the middle of the screen, as you can see there, that tunnel or a door you can use there to get into the bottom of the wreck or into the hull of the wreck, and you can find tons of boxes. I'm talking about 6 to 10 boxes just underneath there in the hull of the boat. But it's really tricky to explore because you can get in there, you can exit out here, and you can also get in through sides on the side of the boat. Let me see if I can find one. pretty sure it's on this side. The sun's making it hard to see, but there's on the side of the boat there is holes as well. I prefer using this holes up top at the doors and the ladderway, as it's the best way to get down there and get back up. Sometimes this door is glitched, so it spawns something in front of it and you can't get out or in, so just maybe get a breath boost or something when you explore this wreck. As you can see up top here, there it looks like a console, but there's basically nothing in this little operator room of the crane, so this is useless, but you can find flotation devices on this section of the boat. And in here in the middle, at the first floor there, you can find a lot of boxes more. You're looking about, I guess, 15 boxes. Let's make an easy number between 10 and 15 boxes on this whole wreck. It can be a lot more than 15, but in that section there you can actually find multiple lockers and small lockers and consoles, and that goes for the second floor as well. You can get a lot of the same boxes and lockers, small lockers, and the consoles in there, where you can find multiple items. As you can see in there, there's stairs you can walk up and down from, and this is the best wreck. I prefer you to search this wrecks first all the time. So get in from the island. As soon as you get to this island, drop everything you have and go straight for this boat, because this wreck does give you the maximum amount of loot that you can find in Stranded Deep. I haven't seen any other wrecks spawn this amount of loot on their own, but this cargo ship, it's in the name, it's cargo. You can get an absolute ton of loot on this single wreck. So just go for this wreck first and explore it. And it's also a fun way to explore, because sometimes you can actually drown down there. That's not fun, but it makes for a good experience. But when you're down there, just make sure you check every, it looks like shelves. Make sure you look in every corner of the shelf, because you will find a ton of containers down there. But be sure to check out for the lionfish and snakes. The water snakes, they love to hide inside of these wrecks, especially down here, and they can poison you as soon as you just touch one of them. Even if you have snakes turned off or on passive, the water snakes are still there and they will poison you when you touch them. It's the same for the lionfish, no way of getting rid of it. But this wreck is the best wreck, and I prefer exploring this wreck first. But that's it for today's video, guys. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to like the video, and you can comment down below anything, any questions, and if it's a positive comment, I will heart and like the comment. If it's a question, I'll heart and like the comment and also reply to it if I do have an answer to the question. So far I have answered every question or every comment that was given to me by you guys, and I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, guys. So please just help me reach 1,000 subscribers, because that will be my milestone for this month. I'm looking forward to getting 1,000 subscribers. And I've also had this one, I'm pretty sure he is a subscriber, but he asked me in the comment section if I can give him, if I can upload my save game to the internet for you guys to use. So I did reply to his comment and said, if I reach 1,000 subscribers, I'll give you guys the save that I'm using currently. I'll keep it on the exact same place as it's now, and I'll just give it to you guys, so I won't progress further. You can fight the bosses and everything on your own, but you will be well off for a survival. And my base is also well off, so the everything is sorted, the boxes are stacked, named, everything like that. So if you guys want that, please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like, and if you subscribe, turn on the bell notifications so you get notified when I upload. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.